The Boston Celtics, currently one of the best teams in the NBA, continue to dominate the season with a balanced and efficient roster. With the halfway point of the season already behind them, many analysts believe that drastic changes to the team are unnecessary. However, even the best teams need to make adjustments to ensure solid performance in the playoffs. According to Swartz of Bleacher report, the Celtics could make a strategic trade to bolster their bench. The idea involves bringing in veteran guard forward Javonte Green from the New Orleans Pelicans, a move that would also resolve Jaden Springer's situation, a player who has not found a significant role on the team. Green, for his part, has been performing well with the Pelicans, contributing solid numbers, 51.7% shooting from three, along with averages of 5.1 points and 2.9 rebounds in about 18 minutes per game. Is it worth sacrificing the future for such a small impact? While Jeff Green brings consistency, experience, and a solid NBA career, his presence raises crucial questions about the real impact of his arrival on the future of the Celtics. This strategy of relying on veteran players may seem appealing in the short term, but it is not without significant risks. On the one hand, Green is known for his versatility and ability to contribute offensively and defensively, traits that can benefit any team. However, his acquisition inevitably limits the court time and development of younger talents on the roster, such as Peyton Pritchard and Sam Hauser, who need more minutes to evolve. This decision reflects a conservative approach, which seems at odds with the franchise's long-term aspirations. Are the Celtics really willing to sacrifice the growth of promising players to invest in an athlete who, while consistent, has already reached his performance peak? Green is 31 years old, and although he is still functional in various areas of the game, he is no longer the explosive player he once was. Does he have the stamina to be decisive in the playoffs, or would he simply be another bench player, contributing in a limited way in crucial moments? Another point to consider is the cost-benefit of this trade. What are the Celtics willing to give up to bring in Green? If this includes young talents or draft picks, the move could prove even more detrimental in the long run. Recent NBA history shows that teams that overly rely on veterans without planning for proper renewal end up facing years of stagnation or forced rebuilding. Javonte Green is fondly remembered in Boston, where he began his professional career. In 2 seasons with the Celtics, his averages were modest, but he always stood out for his energy and commitment on the court. After leaving in 2021, Green played for Chicago and Golden State before solidifying himself with the Pelicans. On the other hand, the trade would also solve a dilemma for Boston. Jaden Springer, with limited minutes in the rotation, has not lived up to the expectations of a former first-round pick. His averages of just 1.3 points in 16 games reflect his difficulty in finding a meaningful role on the team. Has Jaden Springer never had the right opportunity? Given that Springer is a young player, is it fair to discard him so soon? At only 22 years old, he's still in a crucial stage of development, where court time and team support can be pivotal for his growth. Often, young players don't reach their potential immediately because they don't receive the necessary trust to make mistakes and learn during games. What if Springer is not the problem, but rather the way he has been managed? Moreover, pressure for quick results can lead to hasty decisions, such as trading promising young players for more experienced yet short-lived players. This is a risky approach, especially in a league that increasingly values emerging talents. NBA history has shown that countless athletes have flourished after leaving their first teams, only to become key players in different contexts. Are the Celtics about to make this mistake? Trading Springer now would admit a failure of internal development by the organization. This raises an even more serious question. Is the Celtics system prepared to develop new talent, or is it only designed to capitalize on already established stars? If Springer is traded and blossoms in another franchise, this decision could come back as a heavy critique of the management, accused of short-sightedness for failing to see the potential of a young player who just needed trust and space. In light of this, it's important to reflect. How valid is it to give up a player with so much potential ahead for the sake of quick fixes? Perhaps it's time for the Celtics to look inward and question their ability to invest in their own talents, rather than seeking answers from external sources. Can the obsession with now be costly? The excessive focus on the short term is a strategic mistake that can have devastating consequences for the future of a franchise. By prioritizing immediate solutions, many teams compromise the development of young talents who could become foundational players in the medium and long term. The Celtics, by considering sacrificing a promise like Jaden Springer, could be repeating mistakes made by other franchises that gave up their jewels for reinforcements with limited impact. The history of the NBA is full of examples of players who exploded in other teams, leaving their former organizations lamenting their decisions. Furthermore, the focus on now often overlooks the importance of building a solid foundation for the future. Trading Springer for a veteran who may contribute for only 1 or 2 seasons might solve immediate problems, but it is a short-sighted approach. Is it worth sacrificing a promising draft pick, which still has years of potential to explore, for a solution that may not even guarantee a championship? Another crucial point is the impact that this mentality can have on the organization's reputation. Young players and their teams need an environment that fosters growth and trust. By showing impatience with developing athletes, the Celtics could send the message that they do not value long-term investment in talent, which could demotivate other young players and even influence the perception of the franchise in the market. But does this move really benefit the Celtics in the long term? While it might not significantly alter championship chances, bringing in a veteran who is familiar with the team's system could be a differential in decisive moments. Now, the big question: are the Celtics ready to give up a young talent for a reinforcement that, while reliable, may have limited impact? Or will this decision be seen as a sharp adjustment toward the title? Does the fanbase accept another repatriation? Rehiring players who have already been part of the team can, on one hand, signal a lack of creativity from the management. Is the Celtics front office out of options? Or is this just another move to please nostalgic fans? On the other hand, could this decision be interpreted as an effort to rebuild ties with players who represent the competitive DNA of the team? Rehiring players who have previously been with the team, a common practice in the sports world, can, on one hand, signal a lack of creativity on the part of the management. When the Celtics front office turns to players who have already worn the green jersey, the question arises: is this a smart move to strengthen the team, or simply an attempt to please a fan base longing for former stars? This move can be interpreted in different ways, depending on one's perspective. If we look at it critically, it's possible to conclude that the re-signing of athletes who were previously part of the team may reveal a certain lack of boldness from the management. In such a competitive market as the NBA, where every move must be carefully planned, it's not acceptable for franchises to rely on old solutions without exploring new possibilities that could have a more significant impact both in the present and in the future.